it's good, but like sometimes, when it's bad, it's really bad. So you just have to. I think there's 2 entry points in Basket Bridge.
So we're about that. Are we good? We're good? Thanks, everybody. Hello. Ding, ding, ding. We need the gavel. That's right. The recording's on. Seth has persevered. And we're going to call to order the Downtown Belmont Development Association meeting this January 23rd, 2020. And we'll start out with the meeting with approval of minutes. So, do we have a motion to approve the minutes? And a second? Second, all in favor? Aye. Great. So we'll move on to the staff report.
Staff report, I'll make this easy. I know at our last meeting, we talked about an advertisement in the North Carolina Business magazine, which is going to be focusing on Gaston County. And so we worked to get some more specific developments to Belmont in the article. And so we voted to take out an ad. So thanks to some feedback from Angela, but Cassidy developed this ad. I think it looks amazing to really promote shopping and dining and kind of experiencing that quality of life in downtown Belmont. So this is our finished product. I hope you like it. So we got a really good deal on the ad, and so I hope this is just kind of the start of many directions we can go with, like Sister Nancy. Our promotions committee really talked about how we need to think differently in promoting our events in our downtown and not just relying on Facebook. So thank you for supporting this. This is our ad, and we can't wait to see it come out. Belmont Blooms, we had our Belmont Blooms meeting yesterday, subcommittee. The one that we talked about, bless you, was the parade. We have had some response to the parade. It seems like some of the community is really wanting some bigger floats that they can ride in, and so the committee decided that we would update our parade guidelines. So I wanted to bring that to you. To include some floats specifically, so we can have some more kind of professional looking floats with lights and stuff. And so I thought that would be good, because the one thing that we were concerned about was distinguishing ourselves from the Mount Holly Lantern Parade. And so by adding vehicle pulled floats, we feel like that'll make it bigger and better. So is everyone comfortable with that?
Yeah. What is the deadline for submitting those?
I think it was March 15th or 18th, but I'll be sending that back out when I update the guidelines today. And so. Can
you provide a little more? Maybe I'm missing something. Like just refresh my recollection if I have to begin with. So
the Belmont Tourism Development Authority, several months back, basically said there's not much going on during kind of March and April, so they wanted to kind of have a signature event. So we talked about and approved Belmont Blooms, and so we decided we would kick off Belmont Blooms with a nighttime parade, and it was going to be more of a walking parade with art and lights, and so we were going to take on that role of kind of spearheading the parade.
And it coincides with Daniel Stowe Botanical doing something as well.
Exactly. So it's a whole month and a half of activities, a lot of which we were already doing, and a few more things have been developed to be part of Belmont Blooms. The city and the garden, we worked together and collaborated on tulips, and so a lot of the flowers would be similar, the same.
So like a rose parade or something like that?
Kind of like a rose parade, but it would be smaller, much smaller, more walking, art, and lights.
And will also not likely be televised on NBC or?
Probably not.
Next year.
Probably not.
He's available.
So.
Sure he would.
That's a,
Yeah, so,
okay. Yeah, I didn't know.
So we just want it to be a very fun community, engaged, a fun parade, arts, lights.
And this will be the first annual stuff.
This is the inaugural, yes.
That's in March?
Yeah, the parade is March the 27th. It's a Friday, it'll be at 8 o'clock, and so.
8 p.m.?
Yeah, it'll start at 8, because it gets started getting dark around 7:30, 7:45, and so it'll start at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
And it will be kid-friendly?
Yes.
Even if those at 8?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've already started trying to talk to some arts organizations and different organizations to get interest, and so the feedback we've gotten was we would like more kind of, because we said no motorized vehicles, and so that was, I think we'll get more participation from that. So I'll update those guidelines today, make sure you're also getting those to encourage you to help us encourage organizations or people that you also know that would like to participate.
Are you able to reach back out to those that wanted a
Yes.
vehicle?
Yes, yeah, I will reach back out. The last thing I was wanting to do on, Trains on Main, DVDA, the city kind of started with a concept. Jamie Campbell came in and gave you an update. The board decided to take on funding the initiative. So I have something, a little show and tell.
Yay!
Jamie just received, so we're going to be doing Trains on Main, and so I think maybe part of the, sorry.
I've already seen it.
So we currently have 4 of our trains. The others are being painted and produced, and so maybe starting within the next week or 2, these might start just kind of popping up around town. But as Emily or Angela gave an update, the design committee that did the walking history tour are already working on the history of the trains, and this will be developed as part of the Go app.
And that's the actual stuff?
Yeah, that's the actual trains. And
They're
so,
meant to be small
Was it
community one.
Oh, yeah, I knew they were gonna be small.
so,
I didn't-
yeah, so we,
didn't know that was-
it was around 9 or 10, somewhere in there, as far as the number of trains that we developed, and so they're all different, and so, yeah, we're very excited how they turned out, so. Madam Chair, I believe that's all I have for my update, unless there were any questions. They turned out very awesome. Yeah, Jamie Campbell has spearheaded this, and they have really turned out awesome. But thank you, as a board, DVDA, for voting to fund this project.
Yeah, that'll be fun for the kids to find, and that's why they're really small, is because it's just targeted towards little kids, and we need to make it a little challenging. Awesome, thank you. I guess we can move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, you've got a copy of that, page 5. Nothing different than what you see here, and if I don't lose my voice, I'll go over it. The checking account balance, $31,643.03. And the allocated funds down there, the signal box, art wrap, $7,750. Trains on Main, $600.
And that's $600 just to finish paying the artist who is painting the trains.
Okay. Dog park fundraising, $5,184. Total allocated funds, $13,534. Leaves $18,109.03 for available funds.
Great.
At our next meeting, we will have a Friday Night Live budget, because I'll go through the promotions committee. We did just, I wrote a check this week because we had all of our bands paid for, the deposits, except for one. We still had to try to find the band for one of the concerts. We found one, and so actually I wrote it was like about a $1,600 check to pay half of the deposits.
I thought we had them all lined up with someone.
We have them all lined up except for one.
Oh, okay.
And we were waiting to try to do something in conjunction with the Belmont Balloons, and it kind of got delayed, and so we were last minute
So I thought it was pretty good. The ones that
The lineup
I had
was
was pretty good.
So this year it's all about a tribute, and so it's going to be a good lineup. We're very excited about the lineup.
Did a guy call you from Myrtle Beach that was interested? He called me and, because he didn't have your information.
Yes, Gary Lauder,
Yeah.
and so he's played the last two series, and I gave him, along with several other bands who have played Belmont several years in a row, I said, thank you for reaching out to me. I said, with all the other concerts around the community and in other communities, I said, we see a pattern, we play the same kind of bands for the last 2 or 3 years in a row. I said, so this year our board made a decision to bring in some new talent, and so that's not to say that we won't reach out to you in the future.
Right.
And they all understood and said, well, thank you, I agree with that, with what y'all were doing, and so, yeah, but he did call yesterday, or 2 days ago.
Great.
Question, are y'all planning to ask the city for money for the concert series this year?
I think it was, last year, we asked for $15,000, and that would be another ask that we would like to
Well,
ask.
we asked for.
It was five.
Well, for the
Christmas
concert was
For the
15
concert
and
was
5
15.
for Christmas Village, right?
That was what was last year, that was the request.
Yeah, so I think that is, and we can talk about that if the board feels differently, but I think that would be the intention.
Internally, I was going to come talk to you to see, if we, at what point during the budget development process did we need to make a request, so.
Okay.
No, we're getting close to the end of the year.
Any other questions or comments? No.
Do we need to discuss that?
Do we need to make a motion or anything about that now?
Well, shouldn't we look at the overall
I think we need
budget
to look at
first
the overall.
before we
Yeah.
ask the city for money?
I just,
Yeah,
we don't want to council meetings.
yeah.
Okay.
I think he was targeting next month.
Yeah, March meeting.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll revisit that. So we'll move on to the committee reports. Promotions Committee.
Okay. Most of everything that I gave at the last meeting is still what we're doing. Of course, our next event will be the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. And as part of our Friday Night Live and other events that we do, we have a proposal in your packet for a marketing possibility using videos. And I'm going to let...
Right. Again, the last several meetings, the Promotions Committee has really discussed how we can utilize other avenues to promote and market our events other than just Facebook. Last year, we talked about wanting to try to do some type of little quick promotional video that we could push out on other types of social media, Instagram, to reach younger demographics. I just totally went blank. We have a young couple out of Heather and Walter, out of Gastonia. Heather's actually from Belmont. They live in Gastonia. They've done photography for a long time. They have marketing degrees, and so now they have they recently started their own kind of marketing firm. I reached out to them to say, would you put together a proposal for developing 7 like 60-second videos promoting, one to be overall promotion of our Friday Night Live concert series schedule, and then develop one maybe 2 weeks in advance so we can start promoting our next concert. So they developed a proposal. It went through the promotions committee. So the package would be 7 videos for $2,500 for promoting our concert series. And so with Angela having a background in TV, commercial, producing videos, I ran this proposal also through Angela to see what, to get her, take her kind of temperature, and Angela's response was?
I think this is, I think you're they're offering a great price for what they're proposing to do. I think the social media promotion aspect of it will be very beneficial, more beneficial even
That's right, that's
than the
not just
videos.
developing the videos, this is also them also promoting through all of their social media channels, which they have a really large following.
Because it's really not as much about the videos, because the city would need to, with this price, the city would need to provide all the photos, all the footage, and the music.
Right.
So basically, they're not providing any material to edit together, but Phil, you had said that you had spoken with the person that markets the bands.
Right, and so we can get the materials from each of the bands. So we're getting some video footage from John Cunningham, who is willing to provide some video footage of some concerts that he has previously taken. We have some pictures from last year that we took, and then we have some image and music that we can get from the bands from.
And all of that will be ASCAP and BMI, and all that will be.
So that's the key that would make this work. So just to set expectations, no one's going to be going out and shooting videos for this amount of money.
Correct.
Right.
It'll be using existing footage and pictures.
Yes, but the social media promotion aspect of it, I think, will really help to push the Friday Night Live concert series to more eyeballs than what we currently get with, our Facebook pages. So.
Now, would these videos also be an opportunity to market for our sponsors, Is it strictly just going to be concert advertisement, or will the sponsors
That's a really good point. I think we
get
should
a
sponsor
spot
logo.
on that? That might be good to entice sponsorships.
Well, even in the committee meeting, we talked about like those membership services, like doing small promotional videos with different downtown businesses. I don't know, maybe at a later date to flesh that out of, those 60-second, 30-second, 60-second to add into a bigger package.
I do know what Jim was saying, if the music we use is under the ASCAP or anything, we will pay a small fortune. Because we accidentally did one video at Holy Angels. It cost us $7,000 for that video. Not the making of it, just paying all the dues and everything for the music.
Right. Well, we pay, and that's something that we're actually looking to, because we actually pay something annually for our concert, our Cassidy, we're looking into Cassidy.
Small licensing fee.
A small licensing
for various
fee.
of those agencies.
Right. So we're looking into that, so.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
YouTube will pull it in seconds after you put it up.
Because when you're a lawyer, whenever you hear we're going to use music, I always think ASCAP and BMI, because it's,
BMI, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I associate the Troy Trojan shirt on. Let me drink.
They're harmful. I mean, what does an Alabama fan care? You ignore them, so.
No, I live 30 minutes from there.
Oh, okay.
All my family people went there.
So are there any other questions in regards to this proposal?
What kind of reach do their social media channels have? Just kind of.
Their numbers, it was, together, I think it was like 75,000. It was huge. It was huge.
And that's going to be largely like this geographic area?
I would say mostly,
Just a sizable portion?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they do, their photography business, weddings that have been all over the state.
Okay.
But we're able to share whatever they do on our own pages and through.
Yeah, no, we will have it,
Yeah.
but this
Okay.
also includes them also.
Okay.
We're basically hiring them to help promote our event.
And the 2,500 is coming from, is that something that is, that's a Ford, basically?
Well, we
It
just
will
saw,
come
we
from
just
our-
saw.
It'll come from
We
that.
have $18,109
That would
in
come out of
available
the
funds.
18,000.
Okay.
Our total budget, as Mark said, right now, our balance is 31,000, but we do have
Yeah.
3 kind of allocated earmarked items. So our balance right now is $18,100.
100,
And we've already paid the deposit for all of our bands. And so, yes, we do have the funds to move forward with this, knowing that we still have to, secure additional sponsorships to cover the rest of the concert series.
I think this is great. I know when we talked about like adding that extra concert in the series and doing a little bit more diversified like bands and things like that, we talked about like marketing and promoting was going to need to be a huge priority moving forward. And I think I love the works, and they do great work. So I think, yeah, as long as we can kind of get those details of the content that they would be and like mitigating that cost, that this would be this is a priority that we need to, in order for this, the new format for it to be successful.
Well, and we're lucky enough to have someone
Yeah.
on our board in this world that can tell us this is a good price, you guys.
It's an excellent price.
Yeah, this is a price for social media promotion. The video editing aspect is
Yeah.
pretty much
They're young.
non-existent.
I became good friends with them, 2 years ago when I, had a short stint in Gastonia. I know they're friends with several of you here. They are really incredible, sharp, young people.
We could share this video with the tourism board, the authority, maybe get it on that, our tourism website, and they do Facebook and Instagram as well.
Right.
Okay.
I think this is one way that we talked about really elevating how we market and promote our events in our downtown.
I mean, I think it's a smart move. Is there a way to create the videos so that if we ever have these bands back, we can reuse it?
Well, we'll have to just be minimal editing.
Yeah, you just have to re-edit the date, because you want to make sure you're communicating the date.
And sponsor logo, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll add that to our sponsorship package as far as having.
Yeah, but that's not a big, that's not a big change. Okay. So, phenomenal. Do we have does everybody, or do you have more questions?
No, I was just going to say, I'm assuming this is something that would call for a motion.
Yes, it would.
So I'd make a motion to approve this proposal for the video services.
All right, do we have a
I'll
second?
second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Sister Nancy, the Belmont bar crawl.
So the second thing on the St. Patrick's Day bar crawl is for promotional materials and different things in order to get this off the ground. The promotions committee would like to request $750, which was not in the budget, since this is a new event, to get this off the ground and get it moving. But we do need some funds for printing and signage and different things like that. So I would like to make a motion that this board allocates $750 toward that promotion.
Does anybody want a second?
I'd like to throw in a little caveat that the downtown businesses and bars are also ponying up money to do, because they want to give away free t-shirts and promotional items, so they're also ponying up money. And I shared with them that we would come through the promotions committee to the DBDA to also show our support.
And I probably need to change that to up to $750.
Okay.
We may
Yeah.
not need $750, we may only need $500.
What kind of printing promotion are you?
We were working on developing almost like our passport event, develop a map of downtown with the different highlights, and then have the different specials that each of the bars and the restaurants were going to be promoting that day, and then any, social media or signage. So I think the biggest is maybe printing of the maps, and that I think would be a cost.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nancy. Design committee, do you have anything under DBDA? No. And the only thing that we'll bring up, I'm not sure if it falls under DBDA or Main Street, but Liz has been working on the release that'll go to the artist for the box art wraps. So she has that a suggestion made for a change to what, we gave her.
Yeah, thanks, Angela. I think overall the release is fine, and it's short, and it's concise. I wanted to do just a little bit of wordsmithing in the clause entitled General. I wanted to move some sentences around so it doesn't alter, I think, the legality of the agreement. And Jim, you can chime in here, but I see this in two ways. The release is to protect the city from any claims we might have from the artist, and that's covered here. The second thing is we need to ensure we protect the city from claims by a third party, because if you have somebody out there who perhaps takes a photograph of the box art and then posts it on YouTube, maybe in a bad way, I don't know, anything is possible. We have to ensure that we're protected from that standpoint, and I think that this does that, but I, of course, would like to have Parks put final eyes on that with that question in mind. But the limitation of liability says the DBDA, Main Street Advisory Board, City of Belmont, and North Carolina DOT assume no responsibility for infraction of copyright laws, invasion of privacy, or improper and or illegal use that may arise from reproduction of this image. And so I think that that's what we want. But unless I'm missing something, I think those are the stakeholders. The city vis-a-vis the artist, the city vis-a-vis a third party.
Yeah, I mean, my only, another concern with third parties is typically, when we're contracting with the artist, we're sort of operating under the assumption, and actually this might be in the contract with the artist, but we're operating under the assumption that they have the copyright to
Exactly.
this.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think it does say that here, Jim. It
Okay.
says the applicant agrees to assume full responsibility for the use of images obtained from the DBA to obtain permission from copyright holders where...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to protect, like, if they steal somebody's
Right.
copyright and then they do the box art wrap and the person who owns that copyright said, oh, well, you let this, guy or gal do this, well, it's your stuff, so, it's your box art, so I'm going to sue you for what you let them do in stealing my copyright.
So I think we're good there too, but that's absolutely an important point. But I don't know, I think that if we get more complicated than this, it just, less is more.
That's a very good point that a lot of people don't, everyone wants party to the first part,
You
party
bet,
to the second part. And,
lawyers can say things in 100 words that need to
I was always taught, just say what you mean.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
I think we'll go ahead, we'll make those changes. I can take your notes and then send that to you, Phil, or Adrian, I'll send it to you, Phil.
Both, probably,
And then you can forward that along.
And Liz, thank you for looking over that.
Oh, sure. I'm not a contract lawyer, but this is, I think, does what we want it to do, so.
It's great that we have such great legal representation.
Too many law professors.
And Phil, in that vein, do we have any protection from the Abbey Alley archway? We install that on private property?
That's a
good question. I guess I'll circle back with the property owners to see if it's an issue.
Liability, release of liability, in case somebody stumbles into it, marks their head.
Or it falls down, heaven forbid.
Yes.
Well,
People are
and
mostly around.
Liz, you pointed this out in another one of our meetings, but does that need to include if ownership of the building transfers to a different person?
I think that's really important with any installation that's on property that isn't city-owned property. And then when we start doing more murals, we've got to be sure that we're getting everything in place in case somebody decides to sell the building, paint over it, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, agreed.
Good points.
We might have a legal subcommittee.
All right. So everybody's okay with that? We'll move on to economic vitality.
Okay, we've got the Catawba River Keeper, John Serby, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, will be at our February the 11th meeting, 4 o'clock in the Centennial Room, if anybody's interested in seeing that presentation. I think it might be pretty interesting.
What, Mark, February 11th?
February the 11th,
Okay.
4 o'clock,
4 p.m.
Centennial Room right here.
And I'm out of town again.
Yep.
I have an arbitration hearing, so
Okay.
I can't make it.
All right, and organizational committee, any updates?
None other than
Angela, I do have a question, going back to the release. Have we done that for the Trains on Main as well? The artist release or whatever? Do we need that for the Trains on Main?
We have not done a release for Trains on Main.
I'll
ask
yeah.
Jamie and see.
Jamie kind of has spearheaded that.
Yeah, maybe she has,
I'll
yeah.
communicate
She
with
very well
Jamie.
could.
Okay, thank you.
Good point. So, I'll move on to the chair report. Did we talk about the DVDA's participation in Belmont Blooms? That question?
Not necessarily, no, but she was trying to cover that up with your chair.
I was gonna go, okay, good. Well, going back to the Belmont Balloons event, which Phil talked about earlier, I wanted to put out to the board if we, since this is something we're kind of helping to promote, and this is our first year of it, with this parade, who wants to be in a parade? What do we think? We could, the DVDA, we've talked about wanting to make be more of a presence and tell our story. Who would be interested in having the DVDA have an entry and in the Belmont Blooms Parade, maybe some walking around with some trains around you in a little line? What do we think? Come on, guys.
Cardboard trains decorated with glow sticks.
Glow sticks and flowers.
That's true, yeah, I'm kind of the train guy. My sister loves trains too, so maybe I'll bring.
Could our families be a part of it as well and not just us, or does it need to be just us?
Well, I think we could do this as far as a board, even our committees, so I think talk to your committee members, and we could have a train and other kind of.
Yeah, we could have people
Things
walking
are-
along.
Engineer
rides.
is part of what we do
Yeah.
too. Walkability, if we walk, we
Yeah.
represent that.
Yeah.
Walker dog.
Dog park.
Somebody could dress up as some railroad arms.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think that we could really have fun with this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we want to enter, do we need to, when's the entry due by?
By March 15th.
So,
believe
Does it
it's-
cost anything?
it does have a small.
It's like
fee.
it was like a $25 entry
Yeah,
fee.
yeah.
I have to
So,
run to a 9:30, but I love this idea.
okay, good,
I will.
great.
Maybe the city council could also maybe come up with an idea. That's true. Something with the city too, so.
As long as it wouldn't involve dressing up in a costume, that might be a...
We're gonna have to do a flower around.
You dress up in costume daily, with your different shirts.
As opposed to the clown suit I usually wear.
So we'll, why don't our chairs take it back to the committees, talk about that when we get back here in our next month's meeting. Let's maybe form within ourselves a sort of little committee to meet and plan it, and we'll go from there.
Maybe instead of waiting to we should kind of share some emails and correspond, so
Yeah.
we're not waiting for the next meeting and then like last minute trying to throw something together.
Okay,
So.
all right, better idea.
So maybe committee chairs let's send emails out to your committees and kind of gauge interest,
Okay,
Okay,
if that works.
yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, and then for the purpose of, again, forming some group of people that will agree to meet and actually work on it, because this will require us to actually create something. Should be fun. All right.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be. And then just a reminder for everybody that, and you guys are already doing this, but all committee members are encouraged to volunteer where they can. We've got a lot of great functions happening this year, obviously. Sister Nancy has mentioned a number of them. We're encouraged to participate in those,
encourage to bring your friends, your spouses, just to help volunteer for those events. And those volunteer shifts usually get circulated via email in the weeks prior to the event, so you just kind of be on the lookout for that. And again, encourage you to, all the committees are open for people to sit in on, and for those who haven't joined a committee yet, to listen to, sit in on all of them and figure it out. Join more than one. Here we go.
Liz and Jim, would you like for me to continue to include you on design emails?
Oh, yes,
or-
please.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. So, any new or old business to attend to here? No? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
You don't need this, do you? All we're doing is getting this for sentence. After, so right in here.
Here, I'll take a picture of it. Just in case.
Yeah, because I think it should be easier to start with permission.
Did you get the email from the church on Parks, Mom?
Disagree rather than the way it's currently set up, so this is exactly. Yeah. Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's all.
Take a look.
Is there an ability, if like a business wanted to sponsor marketing and like campaigning, one of the ideas that I had suggested is maybe sponsoring one, getting her name out there, vacation or vacation package or something like that. Maybe what that responsibility was, or pricing. It's all
So like sponsor, a lot of what they're,
Or had just
a lot of
one
what they were
booth
already doing on your committee
one concert or
is stuff that.
Yeah, it's like a food, or like a shout out, or like, like normally with headline,
They'll approach them because it's kind of like,
but that's
they're already
typically
going above and beyond their duties
but
as,
just having something, just like
like,
what.
vitality.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I started
I don't think it's gonna have that much more.
I started up
Much
change colors and what can,
they're already.
once I get off the up to you, that's usually looked at, we used to have $200 coverage sponsorship, and it was like $500.